What's up YouTube? It's me, Jess, and I'm an opera singer. Today's video is Patron Pick of the Month, and for this month, they have chosen Aubrey Logan performing The Way We Were. Let's go.
All right, Sean.
Light the corners of my mind, misty watercolored memories of the way we were. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we gave to one another for the way we were. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, could we? Memories may be beautiful and yet.
Nice. Pause. Okay. I have so many questions. I love how the camera is panning to the person that is doing what they are doing when they're doing it. For instance, at the very beginning, we got a clear shot of Aubrey Logan playing the instrument before she sang. And then we also got a nice clear shot of the pianist playing the keyboards. Now that being said, what that does is visually that allows us to solidify the sounds we hear. That's of course if we're familiar with instrumentation. As I was listening, I was hearing these other sound effects. However, the camera didn't really make that clear how that sound came to be.
Light the corners of my mind.
I am unsure if that was added in post-production or if the keyboardist, or even if she, oh my God. Okay, I see a third person to the left of the pianist right before the booth. That was not clear. Unless I totally missed that. But maybe he is responsible for those sounds. However, in this still shot, it looks like he's holding a bass. I can't tell, it's really far away. All of that to say, I think for me personally, as a listener, seeing what you are hearing sometimes is so helpful. And especially in this type of a setting where we're getting a lot of raw sounding materials. Fun fact, the patron who actually recommended this song stated this in the voting poll. The entire concept was to release an album with no fixes to the mistakes in the performance, so it's fully raw. I actually got that right from the get-go, especially when listening to instrumentation. When instrumentation and even vocals are mixed and fixed, quote unquote, in post-production, if you have an ear for that, or even if you do your own mixing in the background or on the side, you're very familiar with what a mixed or manipulated sound sounds like. That being said, when I heard the acoustic qualities of the instrumentation, even though it's not an acoustic keyboard, you can still actually manipulate that sound in post-production. But when I listen to the acoustic properties of the sounds, and then on top of that her vocals, it's just very clearly a raw sound. I actually appreciate that a lot. I think it shows an authenticity to you as a singer, you as a performer, and you as an instrumentalist. Now, let's talk about the voice and the melody, because the melody is so beautiful. I've got to pick out some of these notes because misty watercolored memories of the way we were. Ooh, that line was so beautiful. Let's pick out those notes. The first part of the phrase goes B natural, C sharp, E natural, C sharp. Those are all regular notes within the scale of A major. That's 2, 3, 5, 3. Misty water. Then it goes to misty water colored memories. Misty water colored. Now, the first syllable of colored, ka, goes to an F natural, which is flat 6 in the key of A major. And I love that she put it there on the word colored. It just paints the picture pretty vividly. You really hear a shift within the tonal quality during this moment, and it kind of brings this moment to life. So, misty water colored, and it resolves back down to C sharp, the same note that the E resolved down to. The last and final part of this phrase jumps up to G sharp, which is scale degree 7 in the key of A major. Now, scale degree 7 is a leading tone. This T scale degree 7 wants to go up to scale degree 1. Now, what makes this final part of the phrase so beautiful and even anticipatory is how it resolves. So remember, the last part of this phrase starts on scale degree 7, which wants to resolve up to scale degree 1, which she does. But the last part of this phrase ends and resolves on scale degree 6. That F sharp. The F sharp that we were missing in the first syllable of the word colored, it was actually lowered. Now we finally get this sense of relief at the very end of this phrase on the scale degree 6, which is natural to the key of A major. I don't know, I just thought that incorporation, messing around with flat 6 and then finally resolving to F sharp, the regular scale degree in the key of A major, was a beautiful touch. On top of that, with the leaps and jumps to those unresolved or surprising notes. I thought that was gorgeous. Some of these lines she's actually extending into the following line or holding out where you may think a breath would normally be taken.
Misty water-colored memories of the way we were.
It's just a nice surprise to really analyze that and see what the breathing capability of the singer is. Of course, I have said this in plenty of videos. You don't need to sing the longest phrase ever to be the best singer. That's not what singing is about. It really is about shape, bringing shape to the phrase and how you're going to use the shaping of the phrase to emote. And that is really what's important, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to grasp your listener so much so to where they've completely forgotten about their problems. You're really providing a means of escape for your listener. And that's what singing is about. Now, the phrase she's saying right before we stopped was memories may be beautiful. And you notice that you could tell she was running out of breath as she was coming to the end of the phrase. Now, I don't know if she planned for that. Regardless, what she chose to do, despite that happening, made up for the fact that she very obviously ran out of breath. She used this idea of minimal air to emote an intense feeling on the word beautiful. And you can see it all over her face too.
Could we memories may be beautiful and yet
I think if she didn't do that, the phrase could have gone the route of missing the message, because we unfortunately are pretty focused on the fact that there wasn't enough air to get to the end of the phrase. But she used that to her advantage, and I give her props for that.
tell me, could we memories may be beautiful and yet what's too painful to remember? We simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember whenever we the way we were, the way we
Nice decrescendo. She knew she hit that. You see that smile at the end? That was a beautiful decrescendo. Wow, I feel like the song is so beautiful because it takes you, for me at least, it almost takes me to like a different time zone. Maybe that's just my interpretation. It reminds me, I don't know, of just a time before I was born, and just being in the setting of nature, or just somewhere extremely peaceful. I'm observing whatever I see in front of me, and I'm also observing maybe some past memory. I don't know, that's the feeling I get. I feel like the mood they created with this song outside of the vocals and melody was gorgeous. And then on top of that, the melody, I think, complemented that scene so nicely. It was really, really beautiful. And it was also nice to hear the climax, to hear and see how she added and incorporated chest voice in order to relay a different type of emotion. It's one thing to listen to just a track, but it's a whole different experience when you actually get to see the performer doing what they're doing in real time. It makes all the difference. And I'm so glad, one, that this was live, and two, that it was something you just don't see very often, which is pure, unedited rawness of vocals and just a vibe. I loved it. Fantastic job. Thank you, patrons who voted for this and recommended this. Awesome. If you liked all that you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and comment down below what artist you would like me to do a performance analysis on. Lastly, make sure you check out the description box for ways you can keep in touch with me, get access to exclusive perks, check out the Soprano Notes blog and or take a lesson with me. I hope you have a good day and I'll see you soon. Bye!